Hey, it's Rebecca Smith from the KBIA newsroom in Columbia, and it's time for Missouri Health Talks, a project where we listen in on Missourians' conversations about access to health care. This week we hear from J.T. Thomas. We met at an event in September hosted by the Missouri Kidney Program. J.T. was diagnosed with kidney failure at the age of 20, and he spoke about the role community played in his health and transplantation journey. Here's J.T.
Throughout this process of waiting for a transplant, I use Facebook as a platform to help be a source of information. So I had this constant support system that was extremely vital to my progress in my health. And so people would always just, reach out to me and say, hey, how can I become a donor? How can I do this? How can I get tested? And, people would come and go, and they would try to test and not be successful, be a match for, one reason or another. And you can't hold that against them, but you get to the point where it's just like, you get numb to things. But something happened. I had a girl I went to high school with who I hadn't spoke to in about 3 years reached out to me. And at the time, she lived in Washington. And so this was one of those things where it was like just another person asking to donate, which is phenomenal that I would have people willing to do that for me, that I've, impacted their lives in a way that says, hey, let's do this. So I gave her the information, and little did I know that before she even asked to become a donor, she did her own research. She looked up what it took to be a donor, the effects that you have, after becoming a donor. She went to a hospital and watched a kidney transplant take place. She talked to her friends and she talked to her family. Every person she asked, they say, well, why him? But no matter what they said, she felt compelled to do this. But she did that all before even contacting me. So over a year and a half after I was initially diagnosed. So I'd get these little updates here and there saying, all right, we're going to do this next thing. And momentum started to build. And I will never forget, it was the end of May of 2014. She sends me this picture on a Post-it note that says June 24th on it. That was the day of our surgery. And they were able to expedite, some of the processes because of our age and because of how well we matched. So when that happened, I was like, oh, my life's about to change. And so what I did is I set up a secret GoFundMe account to cover her expenses, such as her rent, utilities, because she's going to be gone for a couple months while you still have bills to pay. And my goal was $2,000. In less than 24 hours, I raised $2,300. These were people that were saying, well, I can't donate an organ, but I can donate some money. And I was able to hand her mom $2,300. And the surgery happened. The morning of the surgery, I don't know if I've given anyone a tighter hug, because I hadn't seen her in over 3 years. I hadn't even spoken to her almost 3 years. And now she's doing this.
That was J.T. Thomas speaking about how his community of support led to an eventual kidney transplant. He's currently working towards finishing up his biology major and business minor at the University of Missouri and is 4 years post-transplant. That's it for this week's Missouri Health Talks. Tune in next week for more conversations from throughout the state about health and access. I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for listening.